right, folks, we're back. Better than ever. Episode 3, Handicap Sports. I'm your host. I'm your boy, Jay-Z Sports. And with me again, running it back, right in the middle, we got my father, Ronny Cap. Ronny, how we doing tonight?
Everything's good. I got to tell you, we got a lot to cover tonight. Can't wait to get going.
Lot to cover, lot to do. Top Beast, how we living?
Doing great. It was a good day on the book this weekend.
It was a good day on the book. I think it was a great day on the book.
At least for me.
I think it was a great day on the book for all of us. You know, football, golf, whole 9 yards. But we'll get into everything. We're gonna go over the conference championship games. First one a little underwhelming, but the second one was, you know, a better game. I thought it was a really, really good game. Two quarterbacks just, you know, going at each other. And then, you know, after we get into that, we'll do a little bit of Super Bowl previews, maybe predictions, maybe bets that we like. Talk about boxes a little bit if you guys like that. And then we'll get into some golf stuff. We'll do a recap of the Farmers Insurance. Our boy Maxie with the W. I know we all hit big on Max, so huge win for Max. And then maybe we'll hop into maybe a little live PGA stuff. The DP World Tour ending this morning. We're out with the Monday night pod recording right now. I mean, that finished with Rory and to potentially play Reed in the playoff. I know, Dad, you want to get into that. So, you know, after we get into some of the football stuff, we'll hop into that. But, you know,
I'll try to hang on to it.
There we go.
I know what happened. You'll have to explain it a little bit more in depth because I didn't.
I'm going to give it to you play by play. Don't worry.
I saw the.
But let's wait until we get there.
I saw the tee. I didn't really understand it all though.
That was the pre-round. That was on the range.
No, that was nothing.
Whole different ball game if it was a playoff. But you know, action-packed episode right here. Let's start it off. Championship game. First game. Niners traveling to Philly, and it's tough. It's tough for a team, you know, to win, not even win, to compete. You know, when you're having Christian McCaffrey as your fucking quarterback, it was tough. You know, the Purdy injury, they did have chances. They had chances, but there really wasn't legit chances. You know, Philly rolls. O-line great. Defense showed up. You guys' thoughts on that game? You know,
well, I can give you. I just think that Shanahan. Everyone says he's a great coach. I guess he is, but he laid an egg. I'll tell you where he laid an egg. Just think about what happened at the. So they had the whole second half. They knew they had no quarterback. You have to have a guy with all these great players. Someone played quarterback for several years over their career, whether it was high school, college, whatever, or maybe just in practice, a guy slinging it all over the field. And even if you don't, you put McCaffrey in Wildcat, you take that guy Purdy, you leave him on the bench. What would you rather have, Purdy handing the ball off or another tight end or another lineman? You get rid of all your wide receivers and you put in linemen, and you just go. You just wildcat to him and Debo, and you just go. You don't even huddle. You know what your play is. You try to wear down the defense, and they were huddling up for 30 seconds so Purdy can hand the ball off, and everyone knew what the play was. It was absolutely absurd. I was very disappointed with that. I would like to have seen something a little more thoughtful, a little different, and I think they could have done something.
And no, like you said, no sense of urgency. Why huddling in that second half? And also, it's not like McCaffrey had to like go through these crazy progressions.
Yeah.
Get the ball off the Debo in the flat, quick screens. Like those he can make those passes. It was ridiculous. Top Beast. Anything to add on that? On that?
I will say, I know we're going to get into the next game, but it was like watching two different sports.
It was ridiculous.
But one thing I will say about this game, I don't think that even if Purdy was playing the way the Eagles were running the ball and playing, I think the Eagles were still going to win that game. And even after the injuries, if you obviously put in McCaffrey or another quarterback in, it gives you maybe more of a chance, but I still don't think that they have a chance to win. One thing I will say, The Eagles pretty much controlled most of the first half because of a bunch of shit that happened. But it's 14-7 with a
Right there.
minute and 10 left in the first half. If Josh Johnson doesn't drop that shotgun snap,
That was
the
huge
score
fumble.
could have very easily gone to half, either 14-7 or 14-10.
No, I totally agree.
Think about the difference of that, and then you don't know what's
And
going
they get the ball at the second half.
Okay, yes. So they get the ball at the second half, and then obviously the Eagles go down and score, and then the game, once the Eagles scored and went up 21-7, I thought the game was pretty cooked in my opinion. But when you really think about it, that play was so huge. Like, obviously Brock Purdy is much better than Josh Johnson. I'm not saying that, but you think Josh Johnson, he was working McCaffrey. Like, if he stayed in the game and it wasn't so predictable that they were going to run every play, McCaffrey probably would have had 150 to 200 all-purpose yards in that game. But
Agreed.
But it's just I don't know. Like I said, it was
at least they hit the total rushing receiving yards.
I had that.
There you go.
And we cashed in.
John, the Johnson fumble kind of reminded me of the Cam Newton thing in the Super Bowl. He didn't even go for it either. Like, he barely even went for it. He was scared to get hit. And they had so many opportunities in that first half. I'm not even talking about when Purdy got injured. Like, the Eagles had like a fourth down that they didn't get, which was like there was multiple times where they just did not capitalize, and the game was literally stuck at like 7-0 or like 10-0 for the longest time. They had a chance to make that a ball game in the first half, and that didn't happen.
That one drive with all the penalties. I mean, the refs were a little, for my liking, they were a little too featured this weekend, and they certainly were featured that one drive. It's absurd. Three or four penalties. Yep.
I know we're all going to disagree on the refs this weekend because I'm sure you guys we'll talk about that in the next game.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't think the refs in that 49ers game impacted the game at all. Also,
just the one drive.
There were two clear holds on the defense in that drive. I'm just
like hold on every play, kid.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. Also, I mean, the Eagles completely outcoached the Niners. Even the first, and outplayed them. Even that first drive on the Devontae Smith, which probably would have been ruled incomplete. Obviously, in hindsight, Shanahan should have challenged it. But what a good job by the Eagles getting to the line so quickly, getting a playoff. Like, that is winning football.
Yeah. He did something like this, and
the guy
Shanahan they didn't have a chance to look at it up in the booth.
I mean, they're just, and the Eagles, man, if they get ahead of you, they are hard to beat the way they run the ball. And that QB sneak, I love what they do. Second and goal from the 2-yard line.
Keep doing it.
They get 1 yard. Third and goal. Get in the end zone. I needed that. So I hit a nice same game parlay in that game. Eagles, anytime touchdown, Hurts under 247. Bang.
It's a nice hit.
Wow.
Unbelievable hit.
And the best part was I'd under 45.5. When there was 35 points on the board, the live under was 44.5. So I kind of hedged it and it was over 44.5. So I was hoping for one more touchdown, so it would land exactly on 45. But
yeah, a chance.
You had an anytime touchdown on McCaffrey, right? Right, Pops?
I did. Yep.
Best touchdown run of the weekend.
That was a great run. Oof.
Actually, the killer for me, if we're going to talk about action, I thought the lock of the weekend was Kittle's. His over was around mid-40s, and he almost hit it without a quarterback.
Yeah,
it was like around 30. I mean, mid-40s. That was I had that with a lot of other things, but that's life.
Yeah.
I mean, Purdy in there, he gets that maybe in the first half.
Purdy features him.
Purdy was they were a great connection. But yeah, Eagles moving on. I like the Eagles. I think they're great in the trenches. Their O-line, their D-line's great. They cause havoc. they're very, very well coached, and Big Andy playing against his former team is going to be a great matchup. And to be honest, the 2-1 seeds, I think these are the two best teams in football right now, and I think it's going to be a 2-1, John?
1-1. Eagles, Chiefs, 1 seed. Reed versus the Eagles, Kelsey versus Kelsey.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great matchup. Yeah, it's a really good storyline.
I've seen that on Twitter. I've seen so many tweets about that. That's it.
Are they going to do the podcast this week?
I hope so. They better.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, I think that's enough for that game. That game was just
talked more on that game than I thought.
Yeah, exactly. This next one was just Mahomes, Burrows at the end of the day, just two guys battling for a trip to the Super Bowl. It would have been Burrows' second time in the last 2 years going back. Mahomes pulls it out. In the end, a great kick. Butker. I mean, not a lot of talk around that kick. It's a great kick. It's an unbelievable kick.
It was legitimate, 45 yards. It's legit in that weather.
Great kick. Yeah, great kick. But going into this game, I know a lot of discussions and topics are going to revolve around the refs. We could get into that. Let's hop into the game a little bit. I thought what the Chiefs did really, really well. Obviously, I thought Spags had a great defensive scheme the whole game, and the one thing that they did that no other team has done was just really get to Burrows. Jones had a day. Jones played great. I mean, I thought the Chiefs deserved to win that game, and I had them, and I predicted them to win. I knew they were going to win. You guys have anything on this game that you'd like to touch on? Some things you saw, maybe bets that you had. Top Beast, you want to start us off?
I was on the Chiefs. I took the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl before the game at plus 200, so I got that sitting there. I was one bet I was pissed about. I had Pacheco first touchdown, and he scored, and then the penalty. But whatever, it's all good. But I mean, this game, it's just another reason. Mahomes is just the three best players in the field: Kelsey, Mahomes, Jones.
Yeah.
3 Chiefs, and then those 3. I mean, the Bengals team in general was much better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs were defensively injured. In the second half, Mahomes, there was 2 or 3 guys who I saw go in that huddle, skill position players on the Chiefs, who I've never even heard of before because they were just getting hurt. I don't know, some guy like Marcus Kemp. I saw some.
Kemp.
Some other. I don't even know who these guys are. And Mahomes was like on that bum ankle. I mean, what he did in that game.
Played great.
Also, one thing I will say too about Mahomes, I'm not going to talk about the refs yet. I'll let RK talk about the game a little bit before we talk about the refs. But I mean, even that Mahomes run, he knew he had to lay it all on the line on that last run. I still even think if they don't call the penalty on that, there's still 8 seconds left. I still wouldn't be surprised if Mahomes could throw something to the sideline. All he needed to get was 5 more yards to get into field goal range.
Yep.
Because he made
that was a clear penalty too.
Oh, it was
a clear penalty.
It was
clear penalty.
It was a penalty. But then then you could say that on the other side, like Burrow kind of got hit late. But what are you gonna do though? That was a clear penalty. It was a bonehead play by that guy. I almost feel bad for the guy, but he
started bawling his eyes out.
But I still think they could have got 3 or 4 more yards because the field goal was good by about 10 to 12 yards. So if Mahomes was able to get like 3-4 more yards on the next play, which he could have easily, then I still think they win the game. So I don't think it's that crazy, and they still have to win in overtime. The Bengals.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs win in overtime as well.
What do you got,
RK, any thoughts, reactions?
I had Pacheco rushing and receiving yards. I can't pick a game anymore. I did not have I didn't have the over on the first game, but I thought the over was a good bet here. You had 5 or 6 scores in the first half. Unfortunately, 3 or 4 of them were field goals, so that hurt the over. And I felt that if it went to overtime with the new overtime rules, the over did have a chance of hitting because they're going to guarantee possession.
Yes.
So if one team scores, you can get the possession back. You could end up even with a tie, and they go into sudden death. And they almost actually hit the over. You probably didn't think about this. When they were lateraling, the ball somehow ended up in the Chiefs' hand,
close.
but I thought he was going to score, man. That would have been sweet.
But
it was a good game. I felt
game.
that I felt that the Bengals went away from their run game. They I think they ran the ball 12 times. That was too little. They needed to run the ball more. And the quarterback's amazing. Even at one pick, it was about the equivalent of a punt. It was on third down. It wasn't that big of a deal. And they had a chance to win the game. And the best player in the field won the game. Pretty clear as that. With the refs, I felt that they're a little. The only thing I will say is I thought what's the coach?
Zach Taylor.
I thought that guy was going to have a heart attack. I mean, that guy was losing his shit. I don't blame him in a way.
I don't blame him at all.
On the punt return, there was a very clear hold that wasn't called, and I think there was a very clear hold that wasn't called on the Mahomes run. It was pretty blatant. So
to set him up in field goal range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there was a hold there.
So there's a hold on every play. There's defensive illegal contact on every play. It's all depends when they call it. So it was the refs I think were a little whistle happy, and there were a lot of penalties called over the weekend.
I think in that Bengals Chiefs game, I mean I was around the Chiefs, so like I'm happy the Chiefs won, whatever. So but at the same time, I can't complain about the ref. People are complaining about the refs way too much in this game. That one drive where they blew the play dead, it was crazy. And if I was a Bengals fan and Taylor, I'd be going crazy too. But they did show the all 22 angle, and the ref was going like this in the back. So it was. But at the same time, the Chiefs didn't put points on the board on that drive. So the fact that the Chiefs ended up punting on that drive, I don't see how that determined the game. Also, on the Pacheco touchdown run, Wiley kind of got him, but it wasn't that clear of a hold. Like if they didn't call the hold, I don't think people would be going crazy. Oh my God, that's a hold on the Pacheco touchdown run that got called back. There was other little plays.
He should have scored.
The Chiefs had Mahomes had that weird fumble. I think the Bengals ended up scoring off of that drive though, because he had that 3rd and 6 pass to Chase. But at the same time, you're a Bengals fan and you're going to sit there and blame refs. Here's what I say back to you: the Bengals have the ball in a 20-20 game.
You got to score.
They convert a 3rd and 16 to get it on the 30-35 yard line or whatever that was. You have the ball on the 30-35 yard line with 2 minutes left. The game is there for you. Execute.
Yep,
agreed.
You got to execute.
So
I agree. I agree there.
That's why these refs things, like, it's not like a call like the Saints-Rams game when it was a clear pass interference on the last play of the game and they didn't call it. It's not like that, but the Bengals had so many chances. Both teams did. It was a low-scoring game. Like, it was the first team to make a bad mistake was going to lose the game. Guess what? That's what happened. That's all I got.
Agreed. And just going back to Jones, I thought Jones making that sack and Jones' disruption to Burrow all day long was something that he didn't see throughout the whole playoffs. And to get to him and to cause chaos in the backfield with Burrow is what you need to do against him, and that's exactly what Spags had schemed up. And I'm sure he's gonna have the same type of game plan with Hurts. So Super Bowl should be a great game.
We can preview the Super Bowl next week because there's a week break.
Very true. We'll preview the Super Bowl next week. Coming in next week, next Monday, we'll preview the Super Bowl. Eagles Chiefs going to be a great battle.
What did the line come out? Eagles are a 1-point favorite. Is that what it did?
They're two, right now 2-point favorites right now.
right now on DraftKings we have KC +2, Eagles -2.
Wow.
Oh, try to guess the over/under.
I would say 49.5. I haven't looked.
50. 50. 50.
Let's go.
Wow.
Send me to Vegas now. Give me the wide. Give me the soda cap glasses, and I'll set the lines. I did not look at that line.
Yeah, I think there's a red eye out of JFK.
Dad, I know it's a Super Bowl. I know you'll end up taking that over, and I don't know what I'll do
for sure.
But one thing I will say, the worst thing that could happen for that game for an overbetter, the Eagles have any kind of lead in the second half because they take that clock. I mean, you got Mahomes on the other side; it's a little different. But watching the Eagles play all season, if they have a lead in the second half, man, do they take that play clock down to the second every time?
I'm not worried.
And that clock churns, but it'll be an awesome.
Should be a good game.
It's a good Super Bowl.
Yep.
It's going to be a great game.
But I will the one before we move to the links. I'm just got to think about. There's a big advantage on the Chiefs sideline, massive.
Andy Reid.
That guy is the craziest thing could happen. CBS puts a spotlight on him, the camera right on him. He doesn't even flinch. The guy is unreal.
Yeah, he's great. Also, I meant to ask you this. I listened to Romo and Nance closely. Did you guys hear the MJ Drexler comparison that he said? What was that? What was that?
That was like where they were talking. I guess what happened. Oh, this is what it was when they were. This was the comparison. They were saying how Burrow is close and is as good as Mahomes, and Mahomes took that so personal that he obviously showed up with the injured ankle and did great. And what happened is when I guess it was Portland. I think he was on Portland against the Bulls, and they said, you know what, this guy Drexler might be just as good as Jordan, and Jordan lit him up, and that's what the comparison. It's actually a pretty good comparison for a football guy to throw out there. He's okay, Romo.
Yeah.
Sometimes gets a little annoying, but he's pretty damn good.
That was in The Last Dance. That's what I remember that from.
I didn't know that was in there, but yeah, that was the comparison. It's pretty cool.
Nice, good stuff there. Yeah, Super Bowl should be a battle. We'll recap and we'll preview the Super Bowl next week. But switching gears now to the links, Farmers Insurance Open, great win for Homa. Great tournament, by the way. Great tournament. Torrey Pine South is a great course. I love it.
Jacob, who needs Saturday plans when you got that?
It's the best. I honestly wish they would do that moving forward. Wednesday to Saturday is unbelievable.
Nice.
It's great.
The rough was so high; it was almost like I bet you if you took out the north score, I bet you would have been like -5 winner, maybe even low, maybe even worse.
I'm subscribed to this one platform, rickrungood.com. Not an ad, wish it was. And you could look at it round by round, and it seemed like the South course was pretty much just playing even all day long. Maybe a little over, maybe a little bit, under that. But regarding Homa, again, unbelievable win. Great to see that first win with his kid Cam there and Lacey. It was really cool. I had to bring up this stat here. I saw it on Twitter. Max Homa strokes gained approach ranks by season on PGA Tour. 2019 to 20, 84th. 2020 to 2021, 40th. 2021 to 2022, 36th. This season, 13th. I mean, to just see that improvement, and I don't know if you guys have seen, but the way Tiger talks about his swing is Tiger's. When Tiger one time asked Homa, "Hey, how many tournaments have you won?" And Homa was like, at the time was 2 or 3. He goes, "You should have more." And Homa was like, "That's pretty cool." So everyone's recognizing this game. Dad, I know you're a big Homa guy. If you want to talk about
Homa, LA kid, he's gonna probably be one of the top 5 favorites in LA Open, in the U.S. Open at LA Country Club coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun for him. I also like the fact that while a lot of pros don't want to do it, he took the live mic during the telecast.
That was best.
And he just did great. And they actually asked him about that afterwards, and he was talking. He said, "Listen, a lot of guys don't want to do it. I step up. I'll do it again. It was great. It didn't affect my play, and I had a good time with it. So that could be something that we'll see in the future."
And even during that, he was like looking for his ball. His ball was like lost. It was like in a dire time. Like
He's cool.
I think he went up and down to save par.
I
Like,
think
great.
I think he's the most likable golfer for like a golf fan, a sport, I think more for a sports fan.
Yeah, he's very solid.
He's like a cool guy. He's great with the media. He's great on social media. The best on social media, actually. He's just authentic and he's cool.
Yeah.
Everyone on the tour. I don't think anyone doesn't like him. He's
Yeah.
he's PGA Tour He's all PGA Tour. He speaks bad about Liv, which I like about him. But
most importantly, he's very, very profitable. Very profitable.
yeah, I'm sure he is. I mean,
his ROI is special.
Yeah.
It's special.
Totally. Jacob, I'm just looking at the final leaderboard right now, and I'm just like laughing. Keegan Bradley came out of nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere. He went off.
I thought
He has a habit of doing that.
He was in a position.
Yep.
I had home a plus 500. I took it on like Friday, I think, or something like that. And like I was thinking, like I don't think I need to like hedge this or anything. But then I look at Keegan Bradley. He's like second odds. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
one bogey for Homa on that back towards the latter end. Like Keegan's right there. Morikawa, Dad, your guy Sungjae. There could have been like a 4 or 5 way tie at I think 10 or 11, but Homa too good.
Well, Ryder, you knew he'd want. Yeah, you knew he was going to melt on some hole.
What's he doing with those joggers? Do you guys like those joggers?
I don't know. I think I may have seen some. I think I may have seen some kid on this telecast wear those joggers once. You look pretty good, Jakey. Let's go, baby.
Literally what you do, dude.
Growing the game. It's called growing the game.
Talk about maybe his worst round of the year, John Rahm.
Oh, I didn't want.
He's entitled.
I didn't want to get anywhere near that guy.
Totally, he is, and still, I mean, you got to think about this too with Rahm. You're not going to play perfect golf every round. On Friday, at the turn, +1.
Yeah.
On Thursday at the turn, he was +1. On Friday, he was minus like 9. Like,
yep.
Yeah. I think he had like 2 eagles on the back. Went on like a birdie streak.
Nuts.
He'll probably win. He'll win a major this year.
You got to think so. Ricky
could win the
good,
Masters.
Good for Ricky. I know Ricky. He ended pretty poorly.
Yeah, there was a quote. There was a quote from his coach that said you're going to see something that he's going to win a tournament this year.
I tweeted that. I was
Really?
like, I want to be here. Let me try to find it, but it was something. It was something regarding being like, I want to be on the right tournament that Ricky wins. I remember tweeting it because he's so dialed in right now. Here's my tweet. Quote: "One of the main goals this betting season is to be correct on when Ricky Fowler wins. I think we're seeing something with Rick that we haven't seen in a while, and it may very well be legit this time. Hashtag Puma, hashtag Orange."
Talk about something that would be great for PGA Tour.
It'd be
golf.
great.
He's a good guy.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. He just kind of fell behind a little bit and he lost it.
Yeah.
He just 4 years ago he was on the President's Cup team.
Yeah.
Like just 4 years ago.
He'll show up. He'll show up this summer. Getting into the spring. I like Ricky. He's solid. Seems like the putter's coming back. So, like Ricky. We could preview the Pebble Beach Pro-Am right now, or what we can do is we could get into the Euro Tour stuff. Dad, I know you wanted to hop into that.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable finish this morning. Rory winning.
Yes.
Thinking that, what was it, like a 15-footer for the win?
14-footer.
14-footer for the win.
Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't make that, him and Patty go into a playoff. I mean, I know you wanted to go touch on it, but you were watching it live, weren't you?
So you guys know me well enough that I'm not that much of a world class sleeper. So I was up pretty early, and I put on Golf Channel, and I see a tournament going on, and it shows that Patrick Reed and Rory McIlroy are tied at like 17 under. I'm thinking, is this a tape of something? And then I go, oh no, that's right. They delayed the Hero Dubai Desert Classic by 1 day, so they were finishing up on them because it said live on the bottom right of the TV screen, and there was nobody else close. It was a two-man race. They weren't in the same pairing. Patrick Reed was one group ahead of him, and what happened is all of a sudden on 15, Rory made a bad bogey, but right away, right back, Patrick Reed made a bogey on 16. So they were tied again. 17 is a short par 4, and I think Patrick Reed put it in the desert, so he made a par, and Rory made a birdie. And then they go to 18, which is a par 5 reachable. Patrick Reed hits the second shot just off the green, easy 2-putt for birdie, and Rory almost puts his drive in the water. He's literally in the right on the hazard line. So and he has a habit on this course of going in the water. He's been in the water like on 18 3 times in the last handful of rounds. So he laid up from the hazard, and then he put his third shot about 14 feet, and as you said before, he buried it. But the real thing is, if you watch Rory's body language during that back 9, he looked nervous, he looked anxious. He even admitted that it was one of the most nervous times he's been, and the time he had to focus the most. What he didn't want to do, he didn't want to go to an extra holes staring at Patrick Reed, covered head to toe in live attire. He had a live hat on.
Wow.
He had a live shirt on. I mean, it would have literally been PGA Tour versus LIV golf.
Yeah.
I mean, Greg Norman may have taken his jet to watch this thing. Yeah. And I would have, I don't know who I think Patrick Reed may have had been a favorite there, because he's such a lone wolf. He likes to be alone. He likes to be that guy. Rory had the biggest sense of relief when he hit that birdie putt. He was giddy like he just won the Masters. It was really amazing.
Dad.
Pretty cool to watch.
Dad, who would you have rooted for?
Oh, I'm an anti. I'm not a Rory guy, but I liked him a lot today. I didn't mind Patrick Reed, although he got caught cheating again, so that's enough for me.
The guy's crazy.
Patrick Reed, the guy's picking any ball he can see in the tree and saying it's his, and then got called out on it. But it really was very good. I'm a fan of PGA. I don't like LIV, and the PGA won really big this morning. I was really happy to see that.
I agree.
It was great. It was great to see. Go ahead, JK.
No, I agree. I'm at the point now. Now in golf. I really I feel like, pick me and you, Dad. There's a decent amount of guys that we both like and both dislike. But I mean, I'm right where you are right now. I'm at the point now where if I'm watching a major, I don't care how much I like. If it's Spieth and Rory, 2 guys I'm not the biggest fans of, but if it's Spieth or Rory against any live guy, I'll be rooting like hell for them. And
100%.
Any PGA guy at this point in golf, I mean, it's
so
you have to be.
They're in Dubai. At one point, Patrick Reed, I think when he made his bogey, he missed a putt, and there were people cheering in the stands. That says a lot.
That's nice.
Love that. Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up, Jacob. That was something to. If you want to understand a little bit about the golf, that was great, man. Thanks for bringing it up.
No, of course, and I mean Twitter was just crazy this morning about that. Getting that for the PGA, like you said. I've never seen. I think Rory was more happy winning this than the PGA Championship in which he won. I mean, so good for the tour. Just really, really special. And
he had the tour on his back. Seriously.
Right, he put the tour on his back, and he came through, and it was really big. And the way he's playing right now, he'll probably win it a major. I think so. I think Rory's in unbelievable shape right now. Rory's really turned the corner for me. I love Rory as a golfer, as a person. I think he's great, and he's highly respected, as he should be. And with all that stuff with Reed, the subpoena on Christmas Eve and shit like that, Reed could go fuck himself.
There you go, Jacob.
But that was good. But yeah, this week, PGA Tour, AT&T Pebble, Pro-Am. Not sure if you guys looked into lines yet, but
No.
tournament's going to be very similar to what we had at the Amex 2 weeks ago. It's going to be a Pro-Am. It's going to be course rotation again. We're going to be at Pebble for 2 rounds. We're going to be at Pebble Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, and then we head back to Pebble for Sunday final. The other 2 courses that people are going to play are Spyglass Hill and Monterey Peninsula Country Club. 54-hole cut. 54-hole cut. So after
cool.
54 holes, it's going to be the top 60 golfers plus ties. We'll move on to play Sunday at Pebble. And this tournament's kind of lost its top-heavy nature a little bit. So this week's AT&T Pebble field will have 1 top 10 player, 3 top 20, and 10 top 50s. And then in the Saudi International on the DP World Tour, we have 3 top 10, 6 top 20, and 21 top 50.
Wow.
So a little more top heavy on the other side of that.
Jacob.
It's whatever.
Jacob, I think what it has everything to do with how good the field was this past weekend, and then the Phoenix Open everyone wants to play in. So this early in the season, top guys aren't playing 3 weeks in a row. So that's
agree.
Probably what it has to do with.
Yeah, totally agree.
And you'll probably get Brady and Belichick in the Pro-Am.
That would be special. That would be nice. But yeah, just one guy that I wanted to announce, Cam Young is going to be playing in there, which kind of worries me. Cam Young is going to be playing in Saudi.
Ooh.
So I hope this is not. I hope this is not a direction of him, moving.
Yeah, I really hope so.
To different type. Hopefully not, because we all like Cam Young. But
this is a Cam Young.
like I said,
this is a Cam Young podcast.
Well, he might be getting paid. They pay appearance fees, so he might be getting a nice check to show up.
That's true. But like I said, 3 course rotations. The courses are all very pretty similar. Totally different from last week. We'll deal with much shorter courses this week. All Pebble, Spyglass, Monterey are all sub 7.2. So driving accuracy is going to be a big key statistic to success. Another really big thing is it's pretty much just a chip and a putt type of course. Dialing in with your short irons from 100 to 125 yards is going to be very important. POA greens throughout all 3 courses. So, being elite on those type of greens is going to be huge. And, we'll see what we'll see how the wind plays. I think what I saw was that Spyglass is pretty much the harder of the 2. I know we had Pebble. The U.S. Open was in Gary Woodland won in 2018, I want to say 2017. So we had that there, but we'll be monitoring the weather to see how the winds are rolling. But like I said, I want to focus more on the time on Pebble, because 2 rounds are going to be there. We don't have shot link on the other 2, but like I said, driving accuracy is huge. Approach play from that 100 to 125 bucket's going to be massive. And then POA putting. One thing to really dial in on is at Pebble, the greens are very, very small, so the green and regulation percentage is very low. So try to focus on guys who do well around the green. In the model that I'm running on rickrungood.com, I'm factoring in around the green play more than I do on other tracks. But looking down the outrights, we have leading the board. Matty Fitz and Jordy are both at 11-1. Victor Hovland 12-1. Mav McNeely, Poa King 20-1. Hoagie 22-1. Hoagie won this last year. I do like Hoagie again. Seamus Power 22-1. Really good on short courses. Andrew Putnam 28-1. Putnam's been not been great off the tee, but he's really good on short courses, and he's very good with accuracy. And then funneling off into the 35s, like Kuchar, Keith Mitchell. So, we have guys like Jordy. Guys got like Victor, Matty Fitz. So, I think it's gonna be a good tournament. I think
Matty Fitz going off at.
Matty Fitz is 11-1.
That's a small
I think out of that list, Jacob, I think my favorite bet is Hoagie.
He won it last year, and I think if Hoagie doesn't win, I'm very confident he will finish in the top 10.
The odds probably won't be very good for him to be in the top 10, though. That's the only problem.
Yeah, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good one this weekend. I'll probably wager on the Saudi as well, just given the players in that too. I'll have more on my Twitter on that coming in this week, and then regarding DFS stuff, I want to see where ownership projections kind of rank out to. Regarding that, but yeah, that's the AT&T this week. Should be a good one. And then for the PGA, we kind of get into our meat of the season. We get the Phoenix, then we get with the Riv, and then we got the Players. Maybe right after that or a week, and then it's Augusta time. So it's very, very, very exciting time in golf in the PGA Tour. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I think I feel like the general public and general sports fans can start getting into golf at the for the waste management.
I don't understand why is it the same weekend as the Super Bowl. I don't know.
It's, everyone's at their Super Bowl parties. Cool. What are you gonna do? Watch pregame for 3 hours? You're gonna watch what do they call it? The greatest party on grass?
It's the stadium hole.
Yeah, no, they call the whole tournament. But they call it something.
It's like a party. It's crazy.
I know what you're talking about, Dad, but it's something I want. I don't know. I played there before.
Yeah, you played, right, John? You played there.
I played there. We had a great match when I played there. I had a great front and I had a pretty bad back, but I mean. Yeah, we'll talk more about it next. We'll talk more about it next week. I don't want to. We don't need to get too into it now.
We'll talk more about that next week.
We're not going to hear the details of you shooting 93. Nah, I'm kidding, John. I'm kidding better than that.
I think he shot like 87.
I'm joking, John. I know you're a good player. I'm kidding. Right
Dad, have you ever played at
stadium course? No. A couple other courses in Arizona, but not the stadium course.
Nice.
I think the other course that you played there, John, is the
best one.
best stuff. Greyhawk is a great. They play a lot of college tournaments there.
They play the NCAA championship. NCAA championship. They play there. It's the best course. Yeah.
It's a great. I mean, it's a good tournament. You got three great finishing holes: 16, 17, 18. You can't beat it. But yeah. All right, but that's a few weeks from now. So
that's a few weeks from now. We'll be all over that. Next week, we'll be all over the big game, Chiefs, Eagles. It's going to be a great one. But yeah, this weekend should be a good one out in Pebble. I'm really, really excited for it, as I always am for all these PGA tournaments. We're really getting into the things of this season, spring coming along, summer coming along, getting to the heart of it, which is very exciting. And we're here for you guys. We're here to lay it all out there. Wagers, tournament previews, recaps, the whole 9 yards. We got it all here. Handicap Sports Podcast. This is us signing off. RK, any closing remarks?
Nope. Great job. Great job, Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob, real good
JK.
job. Great. If anyone's gonna, honestly, I think learn a few things. Listen to that golf portion in regards to the Reed McIlroy over there. That was, I think that
was great.
The best bit we've had to the podcast to date. I know it's not a small sample size.
Send it around, baby.
But that was it was a really cool. I learned even as a big golf guy like myself, I learned a lot in that conversation.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
And it's everywhere. I mean, there's really just it's clear as day. There's a feud between the PGA Tour and the Live Tour, and the players get in the middle of it. And I think it's real hatred, which is the crazy part. Which is I like it because I back the PGA Tour all day long. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting getting into these majors where these guys are really going to go head to head with each other. So, we'll see what happens moving there forward. But, that's all from us today. Fellas, have a great night, and we'll be back here next week.
Thanks, Jay.
Great. Thank
All
you.
right, guys. See you guys later.